This is Baron back again, bringing you some more ideas and concepts I've had. Sorry for no video content. I was sick for the past week, but it's the worst time to be sick as well. During the live stream of Battlefield 4 at Gamescom, but I have been keeping up to date with the details and whatnot from the live stream. So I'll try and bring you some more videos in the days to come. Now today I want to talk about the second DLC set for Battlefield 4, which is going to be Second Assault. This DLC is all about the fan favorite Battlefield 3 maps coming back and being remade using the Frostbite 3 engine. The maps making a return include Operation Firestorm, Gulf of Omen, Operation Metro, and Caspian Border. Now I'm actually quite happy to see a return of these maps, and they're each liked by fans in a different way. Firestorm was one of those maps where it was just a very well made map. It wasn't one of the greatest, it wasn't one of the worst, it was just a good map to play. Gulf of Omen obviously is a more nostalgic type of map for the old school fans of Battlefield 2, so that's a given that it would come back in Battlefield 4. Operation Metro, however, was a weird choice in my opinion. Now I know a lot of people play this map, and sometimes it's the only map that people play, which I think is a really stupid thing to do. But anyways, yes, a lot of people play it, but for those who love it, there are just as many people who hate it as well. So it's really quite weird that it's made a fan favorite map. Me personally, I think Metro is a great map where the server settings are done correctly, but Metro is not made for 64 players, no way. The map is made for 16, 24 and 32 player counts, and I might say 48, but it's a bit pushing it. A lot of servers out there you'd find maximum ticket count with maximum player count, and you get into the game, it's just a clusterfuck with ever-going struggle between choke points. And to me, that's a really stupid aspect to enjoy, especially in the Battlefield universe. However, now that the map is being redesigned and remade, hopefully DICE makes it so it's both 64 player friendly and smaller player counts as well. Because this is a great map, and I really like to see it. I really don't want to see it abused again. And finally, we see the return of the amazing Caspian Border, and to me, this map is what makes you think Battlefield 3, plain and simple. And I'm really glad this is making it into Battlefield 4. So there are the maps. Now on to business of what we should expect with Frostbite 3. Obviously the maps are going to look way better visually, but what I want to focus on is the Levolution concepts that we brought into the mix. Now according to one of the interviews during the live stream at Gamescom with Patrick Bach, he's one of the developers, he confirmed that the Second Assault maps would definitely have forms of Levolution. They didn't really say on what level, whether it be small scale stuff. So in this video again, I'll be trying to give you some speculation in accordance with what we just have seen in the Battlefield 3, and also ideas of what they could do with Levolution. Just for today's videos, we'll stick to the large scale Levolution concepts, and well, I might make a video later on the small scale stuff. Now I understand that some players, they don't want to really hear about, it's a bit too early to hear about the Second Assault DLC, or any other DLCs for that matter. Even China Rising is pretty early to hear about it. But what I want to do is I want to get out there bright and early, see what you guys think, and see if DICE would actually make these into real concepts in the game. So again, if you don't agree with it, just don't watch. Seriously, it's easy as that. But if you do want to know what I think and what I speculate about, please watch on. So anyways, we'll get into it. First off is Firestorm, and the almost immediate concept that came into my mind was the oil refinery blowing up, plain and simple. As the refinery blows up, it kills everyone in proximity, creates a dust cloud, changes the flag point for better or worse. I especially like this idea because I've always hated the campers on the top level, camping their ass off high above any threat. And on top of that, the flag capture range is as high as that top level, so you can capture it and stay up there as all you want. A way to trigger the explosion is to have certain points inside the structure that are highly explosive, and once they are all destroyed, the refinery will explode. As each point is destroyed, certain indicators can be seen from outside, such as like smoke or fire, that can tell players that it's about to how far the refinery got and when it's about to explode. Again, a really simple idea, but there is one problem I see with this. C-Flag is located close to one of the deployments. It could be a really bad place for Levolution to occur. However, we have seen in Firestorm that the battleship Levolution crash is also close to the one deployment points. And so far, no one has complained about that. So it may not be an issue depending on how many people play the objective and how many people play the objective. So it's a bit weird like that. But anyways, another simple idea was to have one of the cranes falling, blocking off routes for vehicles or destroying whole buildings. Again, very simple stuff. Finally, utilizing dynamic weather. A massive sandstorm blows in, completely changing up the vision so they can only see a few meters in front of them. The sandstorm actually really fits this map quite well, and I love to see it come back and come to life. Come to think of it, why not have all these ideas come together in this map? Okay, so next on the list is Gulf of Omen, and I'll say some of the ideas are pretty similar to what I've seen. The most obvious being being the building within the main area of the city being destructible and collapsing and whatnot. This will work very well by removing the sniping campers up there, which are always there in each and every game for some weird reason. So it gives that incentive to destroy the building. It would also create a new flag point, changing up how you would approach it tactically. This idea, of course, is similar to Siege, so I'll move on. Next idea I had was to have a storm roll in, and now instead of a battleship crashing in like we see in Parasol Storm, we could get a massive tidal wave come in and wash everything away up to a certain point. Now we know that the Frostbite 3 engine has the ability to do this, and we've seen it in the trailer and some trailer gameplay, sorry, which I've got running here in the background. It's similar to the dam collapsing, except there is no dam, it's just pure water rolling in from the ocean. Now, how to avoid this would be to get to higher ground, obviously, certain points on the map where you'd be safe, like buildings, top level buildings and higher ground. Now, obviously this idea can present problems, of course. Firstly, it would be a triggered event, weather should be random in my opinion. Secondly, it would ultimately affect one side of the map, which would be the coastline, and it wouldn't really affect the other deployment. Though I found a way to kind of counter this. If you guys don't know, there is a river from the coast that runs all the way around to the back of the deployment where the Russian deployment is. Now, having a tidal wave present could get the effect of the wave riding up the river and into that little lake at the very back, as we've seen in Battlefield 3. So it can give both teams that Levolution experience. Another problem which I've come across is the reality factor. In real life, tidal waves are not huge like you see in the movies. Instead, it's just a really steady barrage of waves constantly flooding and pushing inland. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still very dangerous, but from a game perspective, it's not exactly the most practical and not the most fun either. So in any case, having that realism factor would be removed if the idea was put in effect. One final idea that my friend had actually was to have the bridge located in the center of the map be destroyed to stop vehicles in their tracks. Now, this idea is a lot smaller than the ones I just mentioned, obviously. All it would do is just cut off routes. However, if you added this with the concept with the tidal wave, this small Levolution idea could be made into an important aspect of the game. To the next map now, and it is the concerned Operation Metro. As we all know, it's an infantry-based map, very linear, where choke points are a key aspect of gameplay. Now, how would a large-scale Levolution be included in a map like this? Well, the best thing I could think of is a train coming in and crashing into a certain area. I hope you like that, because I actually thought about that one for a long time. It took me a while to relate it to the map itself. So I sort of see this as a way to negate forever ongoing choke points, as we see in Metro in Battlefield 3. So what would happen? A train comes in, crashing in, on fire, unstoppable, and it finally derails at a certain point. This will create an alternative routes that could be holes in the wall and the roof, so that players can climb into and flank. It could even trigger a power outage as well to give that sense of how much damage the train has caused within that area. Of course, this would be a spectacular sight to see, but if you're in the way when it happens, you will die. So this is an idea that can be worked upon. So please tell me in the comments below, how do you think this could be improved on, or if you like it at all again. Now, as with this map, you know there are only 2 levels for the most part. If DICE decides to make the street level playable, a lot more Levolution ideas can arise, such as vehicles randomly driving by, trying to escape the war zone. I really had, that was just a really weird one I had, but it'd be nice to see just cars driving by and crashing, creating that sense of more cover and stuff like that. Buildings falling over, obviously, the train derailing creates holes in the ground unexpectedly. So that players are just walking along the street and then all of a sudden a hole comes out of nowhere and you fall through. That would be a good thing to see. And we can also see the weather elements like lightning storms or normal storms and stuff like that. Now, the final map to talk about is Caspian Border. We can already see that the massive red and white striped tower will be the main Levolution concept. So what would you do? You'd go to each support and destroy them and make the tower fall. Simple enough. But how would this affect gameplay on such a large scale? To tell you the truth, all it does is stop vehicles for a short amount of time. And all they have to do is just go around. Pretty simple. Not exactly the hardest thing to do. And not exactly the most exciting thing to happen either. So I'm really thinking there must be more to it. Now I'm going to stick my neck out here and say something possibly environmental will happen to this map. And what I think they should do, or the idea I had, is to create a literal firestorm, like a real firestorm. So I'll set the scene for you. You're playing like normal, and then all of a sudden a storm occurs, which leaves lightning strike attacks on the forest. These strikes set off multiple large fires, which continue to spread slowly, cutting off key areas like choke points and forcing the map to change where each flag is located. Therefore, it utilizes the concept of Levolution. I do have a feeling that dynamic weather will play a huge part of Caspian Border, so why not use it to create more than just a storm? Again, I haven't really thought it through, so let me just think. Tell me what you guys think. Do you like the idea of forest fire? Do you like it changing up the battlefield, or do you prefer Caspian Border the way it is, plain and simple? So that's it, guys, for my ideas for each of these 4 maps. Like I said, I probably will go into more detail about small forms of Levolution for each map of Second Assault, and see if they are good or bad and they fit into the whole Battlefield 3 vanilla type map. But anyway, if you want to see more videos like this, or you have any ideas for yourself, you just want to say hello, please leave a comment below, and I will definitely get back to you. See you guys soon.